There are people in the world so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the form of bread. God has no religion. True morality consists not in following the beaten track, but in finding the true path for ourselves, and fearlessly following it. But you can wake a man only if he is really asleep. No effort that you make will produce any effect upon him if he is merely pretending sleep. Each night, when I go to sleep, I die. And the next morning, when I wake up, I am reborn. I believe in the fundamental truth of all great religions of the world. The golden rule of conduct is mutual toleration, seeing that we will never all think alike and we shall always see truth in fragment and from different points of vision. It is easy enough to be friendly to one's friends. But to befriend the one who regards himself as your enemy is the quintessence of true religion. The other is mere business. You cannot shake hands with a clenched fist. Poverty is the worst form of violence. Honest differences are often a healthy sign of progress. Prayer is the key of the morning and the bolt of the evening. Don't talk about it. The rose doesn't have to propagate its perfume. It just gives it forth, and people are drawn to it. Live it, and people will come to see the source of your power. An error does not become truth by reason of multiplied propagation, nor does the truth become error because nobody will see it. Hatred can be overcome only by love. It is better to be violent, if there is violence in our hearts, than to put on the cloak of non-violence to cover impotence. Birth and death are not two different states, but they are different aspects of the same state. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. To believe in something, and not to live it, is dishonest. What lies ahead of you and what lies behind you is nothing compared to what lies within you. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. I want freedom for the full expression of my personality. A no uttered from the deepest conviction is better than a yes merely uttered to please, or worse, to avoid trouble. 1,000 candles can be lighted from the flame of one candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness can be spread without diminishing that of yourself. Where there is love, there is life. If you want something really important to be done, you must not merely satisfy the reason, you must move the heart also. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. I was reading. The only difference between man and man all the world over is one of degree, and not of kind, even as there is between trees of the same species. Wherein is the cause for anger, envy, or discrimination? But no one has a right to coerce others to act according to his own view of truth. As human beings, our greatness lies not so much in being able to remake the world that is the myth of the atomic age as in being able to remake ourselves. A small body of determined spirits fired by an unquenchable faith in their mission can alter the course of history. Our ability to reach unity in diversity will be the beauty and the test of our civilization. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. I learned from Hussein how to be wronged and be a winner. I learned from Hussein how to attain victory while being oppressed. Truth never damages a cause that is just. Satisfaction lies in the effort, not in the attainment. Full effort is full victory. The future depends on what you do today. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. If I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it even if I may not have it at the beginning. The world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. There's more to life than simply increasing its speed. There is no way to peace, there is only peace. You can't lead a true life without suffering. Everyone holds a piece of the truth. Nothing has saddened me so much in life as the hardness of heart of educated people. Nonviolence, which is the quality of the heart, cannot come by an appeal to the brain. Satisfaction lies in the effort, not in the attainment. The simplest acts of kindness are by far more powerful than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. Even if you are a minority of one, the truth is the truth. Of all the evils for which man has made himself responsible, none is so degrading, so shocking or so brutal as his abuse of the better half of humanity, the female sex. A language is an exact reflection of the character and growth of its speakers. First they ignore you, then they ridicule you, then they fight you, and then you win. Manliness consists not in bluff, bravado, or loneliness. It consists in daring to do the right thing and facing consequences, whether it is in matters social, political, or other. It consists in deeds, not words. Where love is, there God is also. A man, whilst he is dreaming, believes in his dream. He is undeceived only when he is awakened from his slumber. An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. You can chain me, you can torture me, you can even destroy this body, but you will never imprison my mind. Love is the strongest force the world possesses, and yet it is the humblest imaginable. Truth resides in every human heart, and one has to search for it there, and to be guided by truth as one sees it. But no one has a right to coerce others to act according to his own view of truth. Love is the strongest force the world possesses. If we are to reach real peace in the world, we shall have to begin with the children. A religion that takes no account of practical affairs and does not help to solve them is no religion. There are no goodbyes. Wherever you'll be in my heart. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Prayer is not asking. It is a longing of the soul. It is daily admission of one's weakness. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing would suffice to solve most of the world's problems. True love is boundless like the ocean and, swelling within one, spreads itself out and, crossing all boundaries and frontiers, envelopes the whole world. In the attitude of silence the soul finds the path in a clearer light, and what is elusive and deceptive resolves itself into crystal clearness. Our life is a long and arduous quest after truth. To forgive is not to forget. The merit lies in loving in spite of the vivid knowledge that one that must be loved is not a friend. There is not merit in loving an enemy when you forget him for a friend. Permanent good can never be the outcome of untruth and violence. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve love and affection. Yes, I am also a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist, and a Jew. I like your Christ, I do not like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. The various religions are like different roads converging on the same point. What difference does it make if we follow different routes, provided we arrive at the same destination? I cannot conceive of a greater loss than the loss of one's self-respect. Whenever you are confronted with an opponent, conquer him with love. There is no such thing as too insane unless others turn up dead due to your actions. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is like an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. Where there is fear, there is no religion. If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. To my mind, the life of a lamb is no less precious than that of a human being. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Recall the face of the poorest and weakest man you have seen, and ask yourself if this step you contemplate is going to be any use to him. I do not want my house to be walled in on all sides and my windows to be stuffed. I want the culture of all lands to be blown about my house as freely as possible. But I refuse to be blown off my feet by any. Peace between countries must rest on the solid foundation of love between individuals. Among the many misdeeds of British rule in India, history will look upon the act which deprived a whole nation of arms as the blackest. What difference does it make to the dead, the orphans and the homeless, whether the mad destruction is wrought under the name of totalitarianism or in the holy name of liberty or democracy? Compassion is a muscle that gets stronger with use. Whatever you do will be insignificant, but it is very important that you do it. There is force in the universe, which, if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results. It is wrong and immoral to seek to escape the consequences of one's acts. It seems to me as clear as daylight that abortion would be a crime. I may be a despicable person, but when truth speaks through me I am invincible. What barrier is there that love cannot break? To believe that what has not occurred in history will not occur at all is to argue disbelief in the dignity of man. They may torture my body, break my bones, even kill me. Then they will have my dead body, but not my obedience. If you don't find God in the next person you meet, it is a waste of time looking for Him further. If I had no sense of humor, I would long ago have committed suicide. There is nothing that wastes the body like worry, and one who has any faith in God should be ashamed to worry about anything whatsoever. Nobody can hurt me without my permission. There is no school equal to a decent home and no teacher equal to a virtuous parent. Seek not greater wealth, but simpler pleasure, not higher fortune, but deeper felicity. The law of love could be best understood and learned through little children. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. A coward is incapable of exhibiting love, it is the prerogative of the brave. Distinguish between real needs and artificial wants and control the latter. The more efficient a force is, the more silent and the more subtle it is. Fearlessness is the first requisite of spirituality. Cowards can never be moral. Always aim at complete harmony of thought and word and deed. Always aim at purifying your thoughts and everything will be well. No one can ride on the back of a man unless it is bent. True beauty lies in purity of the heart. An unjust law is itself a species of violence. Arrest for its breach is more so. My life is my message. I object to violence because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary, the evil it does is permanent. Action expresses priorities. All your scholarship would be in vain if at the same time you do not build your character and attain mastery over your thoughts and your actions. Every worthwhile accomplishment, big or little, has its stages of drudgery and triumph, a beginning, a struggle, and a victory. They cannot take away our self-respect if we do not give it to them. The greatness of humanity is not in being human, but in being humane. The only tyrant I accept is the still, small voice within me. Power is of two kinds. One is obtained by the fear of punishment and the other by acts of love. Power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than the one derived from fear of punishment. Faith is not something to grasp, it is a state to grow into. I appeal for cessation of hostilities, not because you are too exhausted to fight, but because war is bad in essence. You want to kill Nazism. You will never kill it by its indifferent adoption. Champions are made from something they have deep inside of them, a desire, a dream, a vice. Hate the sin, love the sinner. When asked what he thought of Western civilization, I think it would be a good idea. It has always been a mystery to me how men can feel themselves honored by the humiliation of their fellow beings. It is unwise to be too sure of one's own wisdom. It is healthy to be reminded that the strongest might weaken and the wisest might err. The path is the goal. In doing something, do it with love or never do it at all. Nonviolence is a weapon of the strong. I cannot teach you violence, as I do not myself believe in it. I can only teach you not to bow your heads before anyone, even at the cost of your life. I believe in equality for everyone, except reporters and photographers. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Wherever you are, you will always be in my heart. There would be nothing to frighten you if you refuse to be afraid. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Each one has to find his peace from within. And peace to be real must be unaffected by outside circumstances. Truth is one, paths are many. A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. I can retain neither respect nor affection for government which has been moving from wrong to wrong in order to defend its immorality. In matters of conscience, the law of the majority has no place. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. Your tomorrow depends entirely on what you do today. Nothing is so aggravating as calmness. Do not crave to know the views of others, nor base your intent thereon. To think independently for yourself is a sign of fearlessness. Speak only if it improves upon the silence. One man cannot do right in one department of life whilst he is occupied in doing wrong in any other department. Life is one indivisible whole. An ounce of practice is worth more than tons of preaching. The day the power of love overrules the love of power, the world will know peace. Behavior is the mirror in which we can display our image. A man of character will make himself worthy of any position he is given. Terrorism and deception are weapons not of the strong, but of the weak. It's easy to stand in the crowd, but it takes courage to stand alone. You may never know what results come of your actions, but if you do nothing, there will be no results. Service which is rendered without joy helps neither the servant nor the served. But all other pleasures and possessions pale into nothingness before service which is rendered in a spirit of joy. It is easier to build a boy than to mend a man. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny. There are many causes I would die for. There is not a single cause I would kill for. The moment there is suspicion about a person's motives, everything he does becomes tainted. Violence begins with the fork. Prayer is not an old woman's idle amusement. Properly understood and applied, it is the most potent instrument of action. There goes my people. I must follow them, for I am their leader. You don't know who is important to you until you actually lose them. There are 2 days in the year that we cannot do anything, yesterday and tomorrow. Liberty and democracy become unholy when their hands are dyed red with innocent blood. Silence becomes cowardice when occasion demands speaking out the whole truth and acting accordingly. I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. To give pleasure to a single heart by a single act is better than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. My imperfections and failures are as much a blessing from God as my successes and my talents, and I lay them both at His feet. I first learned the concepts of nonviolence in my marriage. Live simply so that others may simply live. There are only two ways to live your life: as though nothing is a miracle, or as though everything is a miracle. Where there is life, there is love. Victory attained by violence is tantamount to a defeat, for it is momentary. Remember that all through history, there have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time, they seem invincible. But in the end, they always fall. Always. I call him religious who understands the suffering of others.